Hi there, it's Joseph here at Edge Dynamics making a shave video. I've got a few razors today to test. First one is a really old one. It's made by Warburton, and you can see it says Lisbon. It was a fashionable thing to do back then, like France, Lisbon, Amsterdam, Spain I think is another one. But what I did with this one, I won't talk about it too much until I use it, but I did something a little bit ridiculous, which was to give it a mirror finish. And if it shaves, we'll do the whole shave with that. And a few I've got to test. I did these for a customer, which is this Frederick Reynolds. And all as I did, I've probably got a before picture which I'll show you. It was in a pretty bad way. It had been like hand sanded. They'd taken all the pitting out and the bevel's all over the place. There's all sorts of grind marks and things like that. So what I did was I just gave it a satin finish to kind of camouflage all that. And the scales are wood coated with CA glue, because I assumed it was plastic at first, but whilst I was repinning it, the pins are kind of sinking into the wood, so it's really as tight as I can get it. But this is obviously just like, it's not professional. I mean, the scales that are made, the shape and that, is you know, just what your average guy would do. No offence. There's two razors. The second one, I made some scales for it. I did the same thing. This one I've got to tighten, which I was supposed to do before the video. So I have to hold it like that. And this is Wade & Butcher. And yeah, I made these scales from some old scales. The old scales were huge. And I made them for something, I don't know what, but they was never going to get used. They was just going to sit around forever. So, because my original plan was to use vintage horn, because this razor is quite short, it didn't really fit into anything, and the vintage scales didn't look nice at all. So I just reconstituted these. I shortened them and thinned them and reshaped them. They're quite nice. But we'll test that as well. Also, I've got the John Elliott, and this one I just did some messing about on my new sweeter, and from what I could tell, the edge is no good on that. But we'll give it a quick test. And my final razor, which is sat down there. I mean, I'm not going to have a full shave with the customer's razors. So if the stub tail doesn't shave well, we'll go for that one. Decided to go for the matcha today from Esbjerg. Don't know where all this hair on my face is coming from, to tell you the truth, but it's getting a bit much. So we'll load up using the big brush. So first things first, we'll go with the John Elliott. Should tell me straight away. Okay, yeah, that's nice. That's not amazing. I don't want to shave too much off. That's actually really good. Put it on the Maruka sweeter. And what I did was I did a 1K bevel set, then I went to the Maruka Sweeter with a Tomo slurry, did a bit of work, and then I did most of the work just with water, because you don't need a Tomo for that sweeter. Kind of in reference to knives, that is. So I wanted to try that with a razor, and that's quite surprising that you don't actually need, you may not need a Tomo Nagora to hone a razor. So we keep testing with that. We'll see where that takes us. So this is the one I'm interested in, which is the Lisbon. Let's see. That's pretty good. So we'll shave with this one, and I'll talk about it, and I'll tell you what I've done to it, and I'll show you some pictures, but see what the Warburton Butcher does. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, that's great. For some reason this Warburton Butcher's got really strong steel. Like, they're normally a bit soft, and strong steel needs a bit more stropping than the soft stuff. Frederick Reynolds, quite an ordeal to hone this one because of the hand sanding, but we got there in the end. Yeah, that's special, definitely. Tell straight away. I think the Warburton Butcher needs a little bit more stropping, but I don't know if it's ever going to be super soft because of the steel. But this steel, as a matter of fact, I was a little bit worried because instantly the swarf on the Izuku Kita, it was quite shocking. This is really soft. It's the soft stuff that gives you the super uber smooth edges, or can I really say that, because those rags are strong steel and they're super soft. I'll tell you what's going on with this one. What I did with this was I took it to a mirror finish, because the steel on this is the softest steel I've ever encountered, honestly. It's really soft, too soft to go on a grinder. You got to be really careful with it. And so I wanted to take it to a mirror finish just to see what I could do or how it'd react. And what I did then was I brought it back. So I don't know if you can see how it looks on camera, but the mirror finish has been brought back. I've taken the gloss off it. It may not look like that. It may just look like a normal mirror finish, but it's been brought back a few steps. To get that kind of a bevel, this is honed with one layer of Captain tape. And it took some honing, honestly, to get the bevel set all the way. I'm really pleased with that. The scales were a bit weak. I put the scales in neats for oil, and I put them in a warm place. I put them by a radiator. That's a bit dangerous, holding that like that. Do not want to cut my ear off, preferably. The scales around these parts were really weak, and they wouldn't have held up. I could have got it pinned, but it wouldn't have lasted. It may have lasted a few years, but what I did was I inserted some little plates, and I couldn't do my normal trick, which was to glue the plates in place and then drill through and then pin them so it's really secure. I couldn't do that with these because I couldn't put pins through this horn. So what I did was I just shallowed out parts, dropped in the plates, glued them in, and it worked really well. I made I've made backing collars inside these collars. And these collars took a bit of, I tried just about everything to get these clean. I tried some of that ultrasonic, tried the old ultrasonic cleaning. But it took an effort to get them up. And the wedge in this had expanded, and it was completely rotten. Back to that point of why they, I don't think anyone really cares but me, but why they used to put drill holes in the wedges or remove parts was for expansion. And so the wedge was gone, but luckily I've got parts, spare parts. So I put the same style wedge in there and pinned it up. I took away a lot of the pitting. You can see up here there's like folds in the steel. Up here, I don't know if you can see that. The problem with this one is the bevel angle. Because the bevel angle is coming out at nearly 19 degrees. And I know for a fact if that was harder steel, it wouldn't have taken an edge, or not a nice edge. But I knew that this being so soft, we had a good chance. And yeah, this goes to prove that soft steel can take steeper angles than harder steel. I have in fact got another one of these, and they both fit in a box, a coffin box. Whilst I'm restoring the second one, I'll start restoring the case or the coffin. It's got a load of gunk on it and it can't shave. I need to clean that off. Yeah, I restored the coffin box. Yeah, the top of the lid is missing, so I've got to do that, but I won't be bothered with that until I'm restoring the second razor. I'm just happy to get all this off, but I'm even more happy that this shaves. So, and what I didn't want to do with this was put it on the grinder and take the spine down to get a good bevel angle, because that's like a whole can of worms I didn't want to do. Right, let's try and do this without having an accident. I'm gonna have to, no, that's fine actually. I was going to say I'm going to have to come back later on that, but that's fine. Just got the sun glaring off this razor, and it really is a mirror finish. I need some shaving cream. But I'm going to get back in the workshop today. I've been spending all my time really on my, I don't know if I should call it mirror finishing, grind mark removal strategies. I don't know what to call it. But yeah, that's taking all my time at the moment, but I've made some like groundbreaking improvements. I mean, I had a razor, I've got a razor, and I took the finish to a 100% true mirror. So I hadn't took it to the polisher to polish it, but there was no grind marks. It was completely like 100% flat. And I then took it from that to what they call an orange peel effect. Like, not intentionally, but so I've got more experimenting to do. I've got to try and get rid of that orange peel, get it back to what it was, but and the orange peel is caused by, from what I've read, stress on the steel, or too much stress. And one of the problems I'm having is getting things to spin true. You know, can't be any wobble. I've got a load of gunk on this again. Can't be any wobble on anything, on any kind of wheel when they spin. It needs to be like 99% true. So the contact with the razor, you know, it's like a flush contact. There's no banging around at high speed sort of thing. I haven't seen many shave videos with these razors from the 1700s. But they do offer a type of steel that you just can't get. I mean, it feels so nice, I don't want to stop actually. Get a straight line. I think that'll do. I don't think anyone's going to stop me in the street and say, "Excuse me, sir, that line's not straight." And considering I live in London, people don't even look at each other, let alone speak, so it's like dogs. You know, when a dog looks at another dog, or you just stare at the dog, it's on, so you don't look at people. Right, really proud of that. It's beautiful. And I did treat these collars with anti-corrosion. Give you a closer look at the collars. See what's going on. There's the wedge. I don't know if I showed you the grind. I did treat myself to a new Penhaligon's, which is a Cairo. And if you've ever smelt Florist Honey Oud, it's really similar to that. It's really powerful, it's sweet. I mean, just one little spray of this, and the lid on this one is quite tough. One little spray, and that's for the whole day, that is. And it's really nice. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.